voices crackle through static glow, Morse code tapping in the night, underneath the stars so bright, connecting folks from far and wide, waves in the air they provide, call signs echo through the ether, let's get closer, let's go deeper. Amateur radio roundtable so fine, join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here, let's make the distance disappear. Twist the knob, find a friend, airwaves never seem to end. CQ calling loud and clear, sharing stories ear to ear. Antennas point to the sky, signals rise and amplify. Tuning into hearts worldwide, our voices mesh and coincide. Amateur radio roundtable so fine, join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here, let's make the distance disappear.
All right, guys, you may have recognized that. Chuck said it was an AI song, and it was actually. We used a couple different AI servers or whatever to come up with it, and that was put together. That was put together by Mark P. in the chat room. He sent that to me today, and it's just experimental. We're playing around with it. It's quite long. I've got 2 versions of that song that we did, so we shouldn't have any copyright issues with YouTube. So I think we'll be okay to use pieces of it, and we just need to pick out the proper pictures and stuff and try to do a little bit, you know, more professional song and whatever am I trying to say, I don't know. But anyway, again, Mark P. is the one that put that together, and great job. I kind of like it. And, you know, the AI stuff is really neat. We put that in an AI server to give us some text. We got the text, but it wouldn't create a song. Then we had to find another AI server or AI app that would actually take text and put it in a song. So it was kind of a multi-step process, and then we had to put it into a video with some slides. So anyway, I've got 2 versions of that. Hey, tonight we're going to play both versions, and I'm going to let you guys tell us which one you like best. They're a little different, same words, but a little bit different there. Hey, right, while we're at it real quick before Brett has to leave, Brett is in New York. Let's just go out to Brett real quick because he's going to have to run any minute. Hey, Brett, come on in here. Tell us, hey, man, is it cold up there?
It is quite cold and windy in New York City. I'm about to get aboard a flight to Denver where it's going to be even colder and windier and snowier. And from there, I have to drive back to Laramie, Wyoming. So that's going to be an exciting trip. While I was in New York, as I was mentioning to Tom, I tried to get on the local repeaters, but apparently they're not really very busy. I wasn't able to raise very many people. It seems like people mostly there get on for the nets, but then they're not on all the time. So I was only able to talk with people there at all. But New York was fantastic. I saw a couple of shows there, and off the air anyway. And again, I'm heading home, so I'll be back in Wyoming soon, and to my usual shack.
Okay, well, great. We got nearly 99% of that. You're stuttering here just a little bit, just like Bill Brown did last week on our Zoom. So That may be caused by our Zoom link that we're linking in here. But anyway, hey, Glenn, do you see that? What's that behind him that keeps popping up? It looks like a monster or something. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I'm noticing that. I'm thinking it's either the creature from the Black Lagoon or he's sitting in a chair at the airport and that's the person behind him.
Yeah, maybe. It has something to do with the green screen, I think, to tell you the truth. Or the yeah. 'Cause every now and then it comes in behind you and it looks really hairy. I don't know, man. But anyway,
Yeah.
hey, good.
Yeah, you got Chewbacca on the same flight.
That's right, man. Yeah. All right. Hey, how long a drive do you have from Denver up to home?
Oh, when I get to Denver, I have about a 2.5 hour drive from the airport home. So I'll be home about between 3 and 4 in the morning. And
Okay.
depending on whether I stop at Buc-ee's on the way.
Yeah. Well, that's not too long a drive, 2.5 hours. Not bad at all. Okay. All right, man. Well, look, just leave us when you need to. All right, Glenn. Let's check in with Glenn. Now, Glenn is in a winter storm over there. Oh, by the way, the winter storm is just hitting us right now. Glenn is 200 miles west of us, and we're going to get a weather report from him. The snow and sleet is just now starting to hit us right as the show starts. So, Glenn, tell us what it's like over there, man, and what do we have to look forward to?
Cold, very cold. It has been sleeting, snowing, and freezing rain pretty much all day here. I just got word that they have officially canceled an afternoon appointment I had for tomorrow. They've already canceled my morning appointments. So I'm not going anywhere tomorrow, and from the look of the roads, I'm not going to. We had a webcam view of the interstate from here, and it's white. So, when the interstate's white, the side streets are impassable.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to get down to 17.
Thursday, it's getting down to 9 degrees here.
Yes, sir. Same here.
Man.
So, yep, it is cold. Old man winter came back with a vengeance.
Well, I don't think we're going to get more than a couple of inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches here probably. What do y'all get over there? I guess is it still snowing?
It's supposed to snow and sleet and freezing rain most of the night. The biggest thing is not so much the snow. I would say there's probably only a half inch of white stuff, whatever it is, on the ground. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be freezing hard, and the streets are going to be pure ice in the morning.
Yeah. Well, they've canceled.
That's the big issue.
They've canceled a lot of things here too. So Memphis is getting ready to shut down tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, we shut down this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to it. I need a break or two.
Well, I hope the weather's good in 2 weeks when we go to Russellville. That's over near you.
Yeah. I talked to John from Russellville at the hamfest or at the meeting last Tuesday. We talked about that, and they got you all set.
Yeah. I've been dealing with them. They're rolling out the red carpet, and we're going to be in good shape.
Now you got us a table, right?
Yeah, I got a table, and are you going to have a lot of stuff to sell?
I can fill the table if you don't.
Well, I don't think I'm going to bring anything and put on the table.
Then I'll fill the table.
Okay.
If you remember, throw one of those access points in your car for me.
Oh, okay. I'll try to do that.
No big deal.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Now, you went to the Hoxie Hamfest. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. And we're going to talk about that. You sent me some pictures I've got here. I haven't looked at the pictures yet, but this will be fun. All right, let me just tell everybody out there, you're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. This is a show about ham radio, amateur radio, electronics, shortwave listeners. Everybody's welcome. And you can watch the show on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central on W5KUB.com. You may be out there listening on the radio right now on shortwave. We're on 7490 kilohertz. That is the very famous WBCQ shortwave station up in Monticello, Maine. And we'd like to hear from you. Please send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where in the world you are and how you're hearing the station. And just say hello, and I'd love to hear from you. We like getting notes from our shortwave listeners out there. Again, you can watch the show on Tuesday nights. Now, the shortwave broadcast, we broadcast on Thursdays. So if you're on shortwave, you're hearing us Thursdays between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on 7490. But you can join us. You can join us at w5kub.com on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central, and you'll be able to get in a chat room and talk directly to us. I see a number of people in the chat room there commenting right now, and you can watch the show. We're also on YouTube, and tonight we are on Twitter or X. I can't. X just doesn't sound right to me, but we're on X tonight. And I need to look in a minute and see what's going on over on X. Okay. All right. Well, Glenn, you want to talk about Hoxie?
Sure.
I didn't get up here. All right.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty storm-wise.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it thunderstormed and all that throughout the whole day.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, and mostly, but you were inside, right?
Yes, I was inside. It was a misting rain when I left the house in the morning, and probably the first 20 minutes of the ride home was the thunderstorm, and then it was just a rain.
Yeah.
But we just got a warning here that we're going to get 1 inch of snow overnight.
Oh, okay.
So
well, they're saying about 2 to 3 inches here. I think if we get 2, that'll be a lot.
Yeah.
A little bit of ice, a little bit of sleet. You know, we're not going to get a whole lot, but it's going to, like I said earlier, it's going to be very cold. It's going to be 9 degrees here on Thursday. So it's not going to melt. It's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to pull these pictures. I'm sorry.
Getting a picture. I'm working on getting a picture here.
Okay.
That I've got on my phone over to the computer so you can see it here. See if I can't send it to myself. But yeah, go ahead and I'll catch up here in a second.
Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and bring the pictures up here. This is the Hoxie, Arkansas Hamfest. Was it called a hamfest or swap meet or what? Was there an official term?
It was a hamfest.
Was it hamfest? Okay. This is up in northeast Arkansas. So let me bring this on here, guys, and hopefully Glenn can tell us what some of these pictures are or what.
Well, this is just the layout of the room just as it opened.
That's some nice looking rotors there. They look clean.
Yeah, they were very clean, freshly painted a little bit. They looked in really good shape.
Yeah, I just sold a rotor, a control box front right. I had a control box like that. I don't know which rotor it went to, but anyway, just sold one of those a while back on eBay when I got the Yaesu satellite rotor, and I'm using that now. All right, I like that.
Then there's that Collins 38L1 amp.
Yeah. That must be kind of an old one. I don't recall the different color, around the front edge. I don't ever remember seeing one with that color like that on it. Usually it was always gray, the whole thing. So that may be an early model that I just never did see.
Yeah, or it could just be yellowing from age.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
And I did get that highway picture. If you're ready, we can probably pop it as well.
All right.
But yeah, there's some good Heathkit gear right behind me, pair of amps.
Yeah.
And that gentleman there was the one that won the grand prize.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
do you remember what the grand prize was?
It was like an ICOM 710.
Okay, cool.
Nice HF rig.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I should have went. Maybe I would have won it.
Or was it a Yaesu? It was a Yaesu
Yes.
FT 710.
Yaesu has a 710, which is a nice brand new rig.
That's what it was. It was a Yaesu.
Hey man, what we got
They
there, man?
had something unique.
Is that banana pudding in the center?
No, they had something unique. Towards the end of the day, they auctioned off 10 of these gorgeous cakes.
Oh man, I thought that was banana pudding.
And they had some fun names.
Yeah.
Nothing but bunt. They had the Apple Crisp Gang, the Earthquake, Death by Chocolate.
Oh, boy.
And they auctioned these off, and they were getting anywhere from $10 to $40 a cake.
We should
So
took,
that's what they use to help fundraise. One of the club members makes these things, and one of the subsequent pictures will show you all 10.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's the next group.
All right.
And,
I'll go for the
they
carrot
looked
cake.
so good. Oh, they were so good. They looked so good. But that was something unique. I've never seen that at a hamfest.
Gee. Did anybody get to sample
There's
the
the
cakes?
whole row of them.
Did they have any cakes
Nothing
that they
there
you
is
could eat
what-
while you're there?
Well, they opened them while they're, but oh my word, they just look so good.
Yeah, I think that's all the pictures you've got right there. You must have been getting low. You must have been getting low on film.
Yeah, that's it.
Or hungry.
Yeah, hungry.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can't find this picture here and get you the right one. Where'd it go? Oh, window. Da-da. Here we go. Here is the highway in Arkansas right now. This is I-40, not more than 2 or 3 miles from my place, and that's all sleet and ice.
Yeah. I saw an 18-wheeler, a picture of an 18-wheeler across the entire interstate there, perpendicular, to the road. So it was shut down. Well, with the ground frozen, it looks like you get more traction if you drove in the dirt over there,
You would for now, but it's
Yeah.
probably white by now. This was earlier in the afternoon.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's
Yep.
what it's going to be here soon.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well,
Now, if we can get me back in here somehow.
you did it.
Yeah, I know. I went and shared.
We'll just do the unshare.
I did.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
but,
hey, I'm glad you got up there. And did you win it? Did you win any prizes?
No, believe it or not, this was the first Hamfest in a whole string that I hadn't won anything.
Is that right? Man.
I was really hoping to, but nope, not this time.
Yeah.
Didn't have you or Joe Eisenberg to rub on to get the good luck.
Yeah. Well, you will in a couple
But
weeks.
it was a fun Hamfest. I sold a lot of stuff, met a lot of folks. So, yeah, all in all, a good day.
All right. Well, hey, I contacted the people that you set me up with what is it, Spec 5 or 5 Spec?
Spec 5, yeah.
Spec 5, and to talk about Meshtastic, I guess. The Spec 5 is a different company. They've got their own company. So I can't say it.
Meshtastic. Think fantastic. Meshtastic.
is a copyrighted different. I think they do the firmware that probably most people use. You know, Glenn, I've been looking at this Meshtastic deal, and I'm somewhat interested in it. I wasn't that interested before, but I'm thinking it might be something good to play with here. And it's really cheap. All the pieces are real cheap. You can put a whole note on for about $10.
Yeah.
And there's starting to be a lot of them around the country. I'm thinking we ought to try to hook up a link between here and Conway.
There probably is one.
Well, I don't know. Let me show you what I've got here. Let me go to a map. There's actually a map that
Right.
shows. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to show you this map. This is really interesting here, but it's not as much as you think. Okay, there's the map right there. Okay, all right. It looks like on the eastern part of the U.S., we've got so far registered like 1,203. Let me zoom in here a little bit and let's see what we got there. Okay. All right, so we're zooming in a little better here. There we go. Now let's look at these. Now see, we don't even have, well, I don't even think Memphis has any, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna click on this one here. There's 49, I guess, in western Tennessee. I'm gonna click on this. Let's just see what we've got here. Well,
there's 16 in Memphis.
It says 16 in Memphis, so let's look at that. Let's look at that. They're all pretty much downtown, none out in me. But you know what? I think, and I've looked at a lot of videos, I think that the average range on these things is like 1,000 to 2,000 yards. They're 915 megahertz.
Yes, right.
But I'm also seeing videos where a guy talked to someone 100 miles away and another guy talked to somebody 400 miles away.
Right. And
Now,
the key word to all of that is mesh.
Well,
This is a 915 megahertz implementation of
Yep.
mesh networking like they did with the old Linksys routers.
yeah, now, but the 400-mile guy said he was up 1,790 feet. That might help too.
Well,
Now,
that's going to get him some range, but you're still line of sight.
yeah, so I'm having trouble. Is it Laura or Lore? What's it?
Well, you over the high gain
Laura.
antenna and amplifier.
Brett can
Yeah.
tell us. What did you say, Brett?
You can go a lot farther with a high gain antenna and an amplifier. Under Part 97 rules, you're not restricted like Wi-Fi is. You can go a real long way. Even just a simple parabolic will take you for easily 10 miles.
Yeah, and this is a non-licensed service, and but it is in the amateur band. So you
No, it's
don't
not.
have to be licensed, but it is in the amateur band, and I think
No.
amateurs could.
Yeah.
915 megahertz is the instrument scientific and medical band. It's the ISM band that's free.
Yeah, it is. But hams can use it too. And if you use it according to
Correct.
the ham radio rules, you're allowed to use more power. But there, you can
In
also use
certain
a Part
frequencies.
15. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
Got to
that the
be in the
ISM
Part
band
15
is.
section.
Yeah, I believe that with that particular band, the 900 megahertz bands, hams have access to just about all of it.
All right, so guys,
Yeah,
if
I'd
you
have
look
to
at this,
double check.
if you look at this, yeah, here we go. If you look at this map of Memphis, and if you see my cursor, this is where I am down here. So let me see, is there a mileage scale? I don't see a mileage scale on here. But from here to Germantown, I'd have to get the nearest one there. So Germantown, that might be 7 or 8.
7 miles thereabouts.
7 miles maybe out. So
That's going to be a rough.
I can get a unit up out here about 70 feet in the air. So I might be able to connect these guys. Now, you can build these nodes and put it in repeater mode or client mode or node, just node. I don't know all the different nodes, but you can build one for about 10 or 12 bucks, and that gives you everything you need to get on. The software, of course, is free, and there's some great videos on building up a node. You can even solar power it if you want to, with solar panels. One guy used just a regular battery, I guess I forget the number of it. It's a standard NiCad battery. It's one of the big ones. I think it's what is it, 4 volt, 5 volt battery? You know what it is?
3.7 for the lithiums?
No, this is the bigger battery. This is the 1891 or something. I forget the number of the battery.
Okay.
18650. It's the 18650 Mark P says. So I think
the
Mark, Mark, is that a 5 volt
3.7
battery or 4.5 or something? I think. Anyway, one guy, if you run it in a low power mode, one guy said it ran a year on that battery. 4.2 volts is what it is. Okay. He said it would run a year. It ran about a year on that battery. Now, it's text only, so, I don't know what these guys are using it for there. I mean, you're not going to have a whole lot of fun with it other than just technically, making this thing, putting it together and making it work.
Well, they're creating a text-based network that's mesh and self-healing, just like the old mesh stuff. And, they're not in traditional cell phone structure, so they can set up their communications. They even talk about putting some of those relay units, because all of this mesh stuff relays. It's literally a mesh. And they say, to cover a larger course, you could just drop some relays along the way.
Right.
Little solar powered ones, so you could actually make yourself a little trail of breadcrumbs to get to Germantown.
Yeah, I could probably get to Germantown from here, 7 miles. Of course, I don't know what I would talk to these guys about. I guess I could send the word test, T-E-S-T.
Well, there are groups that are on there that text and everything. So, just think of it as an alternate communications method, and it's the mesh networking. Go back to the days with the Linksys mesh. What were you doing with those?
Yeah.
And it's something very similar.
So it's a mesh network. It's an independent network. It's not dependent on, your cell phones or anything like that.
Right.
And, I guess it would be good for things like if you were out, if you were out somewhere where there was no cell phone coverage,
Well, you can also run tracking on them. Like a guy was saying he wanted to text with his wife while she was on the jogging track.
Right.
And it's a 3-mile track. So they drop little relay units along the way and they can text each other. Plus he can see her position.
Yeah, right. That was the other comment I was going to make. If you have something like a race or, a bike race or a foot race or something that is in an area, you could actually set this network up and use it to pass some data. So next week we're going to have a guy that's going to really talk about this. I know nothing about it other than it looked interesting. Really would like to try to connect to someone, like Glenn or somebody. But looking at the map here, of course, there's some mesh stuff going on here in Memphis, but
not a lot.
Look, the next one. Well, look at there. There's nothing between there and Little Rock. Man, nothing at all.
Doesn't look like it.
Little Rock's got quite a bit, and you're probably.
I'm 20 miles from Little Rock.
20 miles, you might could do that.
So I don't have, there's nothing in Conway.
Let's see. Here's another group here. Yeah, halfway up to Mayflower, you got some stuff going on there.
Yeah, that's about 10 miles, 12 miles away.
Yeah, you could probably, wonder what all the little dots are, the little triangles.
That, I don't know.
Well, that's high point.
Oh, the mountains.
Yeah, that's high points. I got you.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let's look at something. Let me look here.
And Mark is asking if you can pass traffic if the nodes are moving around, and the answer is yes. It's a
Yeah.
self-healing, self-adjusting network. It can.
Yep.
It's like the old packet stuff. You can relay through anybody that you can hear, and then can hear you.
You can, and what you can do is you run a little Bluetooth app on your phone, or you run an app on your phone to talk to this. It's Bluetooth, and you connect Bluetooth between your phone and one of these nodes. And man, you can do anything you want to with this node. I mean, typically when you buy the little board there, it comes with the antenna and the cable. And I saw one guy, he when he ordered it, it came in a plastic box. He actually used that same plastic box for the enclosure, and built the node, you know, within that plastic box. So you can build them really cheap, and every one of them, like Glenn said, every one of them will. It's a mesh network, and every one of them will repeat. Now, I think the people coming on next week actually have some commercial units that they sell. Is that right? The Spec
That's
5?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now all of this stuff is pretty much based on the ESP32 and the Raspberry Pi Pico.
Right. Right.
So it's all Arduino style, you know, microcontroller based stuff.
Yeah. Look at this picture here. Look how small this thing is right here. I mean, that's getting down there pretty
And it's
small.
just like the balloon stuff. They're so
Yeah.
low power, you can power them with solar.
You know, I'm thinking.
Theoretically, you could put one of these up on a balloon.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I've kind of thought about that.
That would be
Yeah.
cool as heck to have a high altitude Meshtastic node.
Well, we might try that after we get a few of these things built up. Now, but what will we use it for? I mean, who's gonna?
Just to let other people relay through it.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, just for the experimentation and the love of the science.
Yeah. Well, they're really small, and of course, if you take it out of that case, it's really small. You can get different antennas, gain antennas, and you know.
Saying that one has a GPS built in and everything, and there's the boards.
I'm trying to figure out which one I want. There's different models. There's a V2 and a V3. I understand. I think the V2 has the GPS in it, where the other one didn't. What do you think, Glenn? You think I ought to start with the one with the GPS in it, just to have it?
Yeah, just to have it.
Yeah.
Now, Ken, KC1 PFS, is saying 900 meg is active on Thursday nights in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Let's see what the chat room is saying here. Two modes here. Okay.
Yeah, and Mark, the latency from Memphis to Conway, if we drove those packets, it's about 2.5 hours.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's about a two and a half hour drive.
Yeah.
No, I've driven that quite a bit here recently.
Well, it goes faster than driving, doesn't it?
Well, he's talking about we could drive the packets from Memphis to Conway.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, put them in the trunk of your car and bring them over to me.
Okay, let's see. You're able to get data back from it. Now, we could send more data back from the balloon with that.
Yeah.
We get a lot more instrumentation and things like that. We could send back, you know.
Well, just being a relay point. Think of a packet radio node at 40,000 feet.
Yeah. Well,
you know, you could get huge range. I mean, look at where your whisper signal goes, and think, you know, line of sight from 40,000 feet goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
And since it would join networks as it goes, it would be seen on the networks automatically.
I got to think about the curvature of the Earth. How far would 40,000 feet? How far could I see that from Memphis? I wonder how many miles I'd have to.
That's a formula I could never figure out in my head. It involves calculus.
I used to know the formula. It's just a line of sight formula. You know, it's a pretty simple formula. I forget what it is now, but I can look it back up.
Let's see if we can't find one real quick.
Yeah, look up line of sight. Just do Google the line of sight. It's a pretty simple formula. It's the square root of something, the height times something. I think I don't remember exactly. But I think I'm going to play with. What's it say, Glenn?
I'm putting in 40,000 feet.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You got a calculator there that calculates.
I got a calculator.
Yeah.
Your line of sight distance is 394 kilometers. And the radio horizon is 455 kilometers.
That's about 220 miles or something like that.
And here's your formula for line of sight.
Yeah, what is it?
It's the square root of 2 RH, which is, I guess, your height, approximately 3.57 times the square root of the height.
Yeah.
Okay, and R is radius of the Earth, and yeah, so. But here's, that's the formula, and for the radio line of sight is 4.12 times the square root of the height.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, either way, you're looking at a potential meshing range of, 500 miles in each direction, 1,000.
About 200 miles. Diameter.
Call it that's right, kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 200 miles to form a mesh, you could really link stuff together.
Now, if everybody's using this thing, I just wonder what that basically does. Does that make it? Is that like a DOS attack or something? Where it just if everybody's starting to send a text, it can't take all of them.
It just relays. It's just like an old packet radio node.
Yeah.
Except it's much faster. It can pass pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh has got some videos out there. I looked at one that he did, but there's so many more out there of people that are building up these nodes.
This is the up and coming technology.
Yeah, I really think this is something I might want to try to play with. The only fear I had was if I put a couple nodes together, I'm not going to have anybody to test it with, unless I can make it to that Memphis group. Now I understand there's you can select a private channel or you can select a public channel on there. So
that's correct, but I don't think it's encrypted. But you do have multiple channels to choose from.
It's not encrypted, no.
But, think of it as CB. You got channel 19 where everybody is, and then you got the other 39 channels that nobody uses.
Well, the LoRa has 104 slots, 104 frequencies, 909. Well, I don't know. It's a 902 to 928. It's advertised as 915. Do you put all of 104 slots on one frequency?
That's 915 meg, and think about the bandwidth slots are what, 10K?
So that's a 915. See, 915 is the U.S. frequency, and I think overseas, like in Europe, the frequency is 433, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if they have a 900 megahertz range over there or not.
No, I looked today.
We'll
They're 433. 433. All right. Well, that's something we'll learn more about next week. Man, I just touched it the last day or two. But I think it could have some possibilities with our balloon, to tell you the truth. We might be able to do something with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all
Yeah,
right.
and
Well, that's
Mark
coming up, guys.
brings up a good question. We may have to geofence it as well in foreign airspaces
Well,
because they can't use 900 meg in Europe.
well, if they catch you, yeah, you can't. All right.
Catch me if you can.
That's right.
You realize what would happen if you did that, Tom? You're going to catch another tomahawk or sidewinder.
Yeah. Well, I saw it in the video
So
in the video intro there that Mark put together. I saw it looked like an Air Force, looked like a jet, and I saw the little dot ahead of it. I guess that maybe that was a real picture of one of the balloons. I don't know that they shot down, but I'm gonna have to use that picture, Mark, in my presentation in Russellville at the Hamfest in a couple weeks. Looks like Brett's gone now. He's out of here. He's getting on his airplane to head back toward Denver.
Yeah, he just left. He said his plane was late.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's take just a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we got some other things I just want to talk about. Whether you're connecting with friends near or far, tuning into the joy of the airwaves, or exploring new frequencies under the sparkling winter sky, ICOM has the perfect radio to keep you in touch with what matters most. The ID58 provides hours of fun and enjoyment working with your favorite bands. Beginners will love the easy D-Star settings, band scope and waterfall display, voice messaging, and share picture function. It also uses the same optional accessories as the ID52, the ID51, and the ID31. For more information on ICOM radios, go to www.icomamerica.com/amateur. All right, we're back. Hey, I want to talk a little bit tonight about our balloon launch coming up and some history and some background and so forth. And we haven't talked about our balloons in over a year here. We had quite a few stories going with our last balloons. In fact, our balloon launch was actually a show event that we were going to do. We decided on this show that we would launch a balloon, and when we kept losing them, we kept launching them to try to keep one up for the show. And we finally became much more successful, running 450 days and about 25 times around the world. So I'm going to have Glenn and I are going to the Russellville Hamfest, which is the Arkansas River Valley Hamfest. They're in Dardanelle, Arkansas, right on the Arkansas River. They're near Russellville, Arkansas. We're going to go there in a couple weeks. It'll be March the 8th, and I will be doing a presentation there about noon, explaining what the pico balloons are and so forth. But that morning, about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock on the 8th, we're going to launch 2 balloons. Now, the weather has to be good. If it's rainy or cloudy, we can't launch. I've spent probably a solid week getting these 2 balloons ready. They're a little tedious to work with. They're very small. Hey, since I got my new eyes, I work on them much better now. But anyway, one of the main problems we have is they can be damaged so easily. You look at these things cross-eyed, and the solar cells will break. They're the polycrystal solar panels are about the thickness of a sheet of paper, and they're very difficult to solder. You put too much heat on that solar panel, and the strip just disappears. You can't solder to it anymore, and you throw it away. If you pick the thing up, you got to pick it up very carefully. If you put your thumb over on one of the cells, you snap a cell. And if you snap a cell, then you got to go in here and this tracker that you built, you've got to replace that cell. Now, it's all glued in with some very tough adhesive, and it's soldered on the front and the back. So you take your X-Acto knife out and you try to cut it out, a little styrofoam thing it's on, and you try to unsolder it, and you put another cell in there, and you get it in place, and while you're doing that, you break two more. And so I had a couple bad the other day, and I ended up replacing 5 by the time I finished. So let's see, I've got a picture here. Let's see. Got a picture of what we did here. Well, I had a picture here. Let me see. Here we go. So let me go to the Arkansas River Valley Hamfest site here and show you what I'm looking at here. Here's their website. If you ever want to go to it, it's called this is really hard to remember. It's called the ARVARF. That's the Arkansas River Valley Amateur Radio Foundation. But anyway, let's see what their temperatures are going to be. Oh, no, that's not temperatures. That's inches of snow. So someone asked in the chat room, what was our best flight? These were, our best flight there was 450 days. You can see the flight path there. We went around the world about 25 times. Here's what I'm taking over there. Glenn, we built one here. It's a three-sided, it's going to be three-sided vertical. It's going to hang vertically. And that is to pick up more sunlight. And here's a horizontal one. This is what we normally fly, the horizontal. Now you can see the horizontal is going to be a whole lot lighter than this one because we've got 3 sides and we triplicate the solar panels on 3 sides. Here we don't do it. So let me explain what we got the triple-sided one for, and maybe it will be helpful for you to understand it. So if this is our solar panel, and we're horizontal like this, you know, we got a string going up, and it's floating like this. These solar panels won't provide enough electricity and current until the sun gets up 20 degrees, a 20-degree angle on the solar panel. So, you know, here's the solar panel, here's the sun right here, sunrise right here. So you can see sunrise is going to hit the edge. So for this panel to work, the sun has to be up 20 degrees where the sun hits the panel at 20 degrees. So you can see it's going to take an hour or so after sunrise for the sun to get up to 20 degrees. And the same thing when the sun starts going down, it's going to, when it hits 20 degrees, then it just stops working because we're not in the above 20 degrees. I think you understand what I'm saying here. So with the triangle vertical panel, now we got the solar panels vertical. We're flying them vertical like this. So when the sun comes up at 1 degree or half a degree, look, it's straight. It's a 90 degree right into the solar cells at a half a degree. So we should be able to get sunlight in operation by the time the sun comes up. It's going to come up, the sun's going to peak. It's winter time. You know, the sun doesn't get over about 40 degrees high in the winter. So we're still within the 20 degrees on this top side here. And then the sun's going to go back down, and then when the sun hits 0, we stop getting that sunlight to power it. So that's why we're gonna go with 2 different ones here. Now the problem with doing that, is the weight. The triple weighs a whole lot more. We are used to flying the complete payload at about 7.8 grams total. That's the tracker, that's the styrofoam, that's the panels, that's everything. 7.8 grams. That's the 20-meter antenna. That's everything, 7.8 grams. We're going to be hitting about this triple-sided tracker here. We're hitting about 20 grams, so it's heavier, but we can still fly 20 grams. It just won't go quite as high. If you look at the flat horizontal panel, this one, the triangle one's coming in at about 20 grams. This one is using larger solar cells, and we're actually coming in at about 12 grams total on it. So it's going to fly higher. It's going to fly a few thousand feet higher. Now, if we use helium, we're going to fly at a certain float altitude, but if we use hydrogen, we're going to fly about 10% higher with hydrogen. So these flights here, even though they're heavy, these two flights are going to fly at about 42,000 and 44,000 feet. Now, let's talk a minute about hydrogen. Okay, we can use hydrogen or we can use helium. We mostly use hydrogen to get that extra height. And guess what? I know people in the chat room are going to say this is incorrect. But helium will leak through the balloon quicker than hydrogen will leak through the balloon. Now I'm waiting for people to tell me that's not true. I'm waiting for people in the chat room to tell me that hydrogen is smaller than helium and it's going to leak out faster than helium. But that's not the case. So is anybody going to tell me that? I'll go ahead and tell you why hydrogen leaks less than helium. Hydrogen lumps together. It lumps together in twos. So hydrogen, the hydrogen molecules, the hydrogen molecules lump together in twos. So of course that makes them bigger than a single helium. Helium is just a single molecule. So that's kind of what we're dealing with there. It must not leak much because 450 days is about, 14 months or something like that. This last one flew a long time. We're doing something different this time. I think I showed you last time. We're going to run dual band. We're going to run 10 meters and 20 meters. Every 5 minutes, we'll get a different transmission. So on minutes, if you look at your watch or your computer, and on minutes 2 and 4, we're going to get 20 meters. And on minutes 6 and 8, we get a 10-meter transmission. So every 5 minutes, we're going to get a transmission. It takes 4 minutes to transmit a whisper location. So this is the first time we have done a dual band transmission. I don't think anybody else has done this. We like to be the first to do a lot of these things. So we made up the traps, and I showed you this on the show, but we made the traps out of drinking straws. We wound the traps, and it has a capacitor in there. So we actually have a 10-meter and a 20-meter trapped antenna that we're going to use. All right, now, we've got some new balloons we're going to be flying this time. They're called Party Woos. Let me talk a little about the balloon here real quick. You can't use a latex balloon. These are not weather balloons. You know, I mean, the bigger capacity we can get, the higher they'll float. You say, well, why don't you use a weather balloon? They get really big. Well, you know, a couple years ago, we did launch a weather balloon and we chased it down. That weather balloon got to be 20 feet in diameter, and it got up to 109,000 feet, and then we went and recovered it. But that's not what we want here. And so the balloons we use will not stretch. They can't stretch. If they stretch, they won't work. You can't use a latex or a rubber balloon. In fact, your weather balloons also, I talked to the weather balloon company, and they are made to disintegrate with UV light. They're, all this climate and take care of the climate and all that kind of stuff. So they're made to disintegrate within, a day or two to start coming apart. We don't want that. We want a balloon that won't stretch, but can get as big as it can get, but not stretch. When it stops stretching, that is the height that it's going to float. And once that balloon fills up, it's going to float at that altitude. It won't go any higher. So the balloons we're going to be flying in 2 weeks are new to us. They're a little bit larger in volume. So let me show you how we know where these balloons are going to fly. So first of all, these balloons are only about 32 inches in diameter. That's the biggest we can get. And we used to fly these Mylar balloons that kind of look like a pancake. You probably have seen the party balloons that kind of look like a pancake. They weren't completely round. Well, that has a certain volume in it. We finally were able to get some balloons that we call 4-gore. And that means it had like four gores in it. And when you fill it up, it blows up almost perfectly round. So you can see that balloon would have a lot more volume as a sphere instead of one of those pancake balloons. All right, so I'm going to show you how we can determine where this balloon's going to fly. So I'm going to bring this up right here and just show you what we deal with here. And this is readily available to anybody that would like to use this. But let's talk a little bit about balloons here first. And we know that the balloons that we're going to be flying has a volume of about 0.302 cubic meters. And we know that by the circumference. If you know the circumference of the balloon, you can calculate the volume. Or if you know the diameter, you can calculate the diameter, or the radius, you can calculate the volume. So we know the balloons we're going to be flying are about 0.320. So let's just look at something here. So in this spreadsheet right here, we put in our balloon volume, and here I've got 0.32 cubic meters right here. All right. Let's just say our tracker weighed 8 grams. I'm going to put 8 grams here. I'm going to put 8 in here. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to back that out. Let's say the balloon weighs 42 grams. We're going to put that in here. The balloon weighs 42 grams. Now let's say the tracker weighs 8 grams. We're going to put 8 grams in here. All right. All right, we got 8 grams in here. We know the volume of the balloon, we know the weight of the balloon, and we know the weight of the tracker. Okay. Now, here's what you got to watch for. This is differential pressure. Those balloons will only take pressure up to about I don't know, 0.4 psi, 0.4. Anything above 0.4, they're going to explode. So you got to keep it down in a safe area. Right now, with these numbers, we're at 0.7. That balloon's going to go up and explode. All right. Here's the reason. We've got too much hydrogen in it, free lift. We've got 25 grams of free lift. Let's put less hydrogen in there. So we're going to put like 0.06. Okay. We put 0.06 cubic meters of hydrogen in the balloon. And look, now our free lift's down to 18 grams and our pressure is reduced to 0.5 psi. Still too much. Let's put a little less helium in here. Let's put 0.55 in here and let's see what that does. Something didn't work right. Oh, we got to put 0.055. All right, that took us down to 12 grams of free lift. This would probably fly, okay? This would probably fly because we're only at 0.36. Now, that's still dangerous. It could pop here. But look, this tells us our altitude right here. That balloon right now, with those numbers, that balloon will float at 51,902 feet, which is very good. But I don't like this pressure here. We probably would lose the balloon. So we're going to go lower. We're going to go like 0.052. 0.052. Okay, well, that took us down to 9 grams of free lift, and our pressure down to 0.26, and we're at 52,000 now. Hey, we're a little bit higher. All right, I still don't like it. That's still high. I'm shooting for about 6 grams of free lift, so I'm going to change this a little bit more. I'm going to put 0.05 in here. These are cubic meters. This is how much gas we put in. Okay, well, that's almost 7 grams of free lift, and our pressure is 0.2, which we're good. And we're going to fly at 52,066 feet, and hopefully we would fly.
Why is that number higher than the previous number?
We have less pressure, less differential pressure, so the balloon is probably going to stretch just a little. You know, it's going to stretch maybe 1/4 of an inch or something. But I mean, we're at its limit right now. But let's do this. Let's go back to the actuals that we'll be launching. So we're going to be launching. Okay, our balloons that we're going to be launching are 40. No, they're 57. No, I mean they're 54 grams. And let's see. No, that's volume. Let's see. Right here, 54. They're 54 grams. They've been weighed, and in a cubic meters of those balloons are going to be 0.320. So we're going to go 0.320. All right. So okay. All right. So and we know the volume because we've basically blown these up and we've measured the circumference. We know the diameter and so forth. All right, we're at -5 grams of free lift. It ain't gonna go up. Well, it ain't. Well, it says it's gonna go up, but I don't think that's right. What's going on here? Free lift. Well, if it goes up, it's gonna come down real fast. That can't be right here. Well, you know what? Let's see. Let's put in, let's try to get that up to a positive free lift. So we're going to put 0.06, and okay, 0.06 fill, volume of 0.320 cubic meters with a weight of 54 of the tracker. Oh, but our tracker here, one of the trackers weighs 20. We're going to have to put that heavy weight in here. We're going to have to put 20 in. It's going to fly less. All right, we put 20 in. And we got to bring our free lift up to 0.065 maybe. Nope. You just have to play with these numbers. 0.068. We're up to 3.5 grams of lift. 0.069. Okay. We could probably go 0.07, 0.07. We go a little higher, 0.072. Ooh, too much. I want to go less. 0.071. Okay, there's 6.9 grams. I would fly that. So here we have our actual weight of the heaviest tracker, 20 grams. The balloon is 54 grams. Our volume is 0.32 cubic meters. and we're going to put in it 0.071 cubic meters of gas. Now this balloon's going to look pretty empty. When we launch it, it's not going to be full. It's going to be pretty empty because that gas expands. As it goes up, it expands. And I was told that every 18,000 feet, it doubles in volume. So at 18,000, it's going to be double. At 36,000, it's going to double again. So you can see at some point above 40,000, that balloon is going to get tight. It's going to be completely full. And this says that heavy one is going to fly at about 43,900, which is good. I'd like to stay in the 40,000. And our PSI is pretty low at 0.19. I've tested these balloons up to almost 0.4. So hopefully they'll hold up. They won't pop or explode because they've been tested to 0.4. The pressure there is only going to be 0.19, so I think we're going to be okay there. All right, so that's 43,930. Let's see what the lighter one. Okay, the lighter one is, instead of 20, it's only 13 grams. So we put 13 in here. Our free lift is a little high. This is pretty dangerous right there. So we're going to change our fill to 0.066. A little high. We're going to go a little lower. 0.064. All right, that's about 6 grams. We got about 6 grams of free lift here. And we're down. Our pressure is only 0.17 again. It's been tested to about 0.4. It's going to fly at 46,030. 46,030. So you can see that 7 grams difference. One's 20 and one's 13. It makes us lose about 3,000 feet between the two balloons there. So that is kind of some of the science that goes into this and what we do to figure out where it's going to fly. So mark on your calendars, and we'll put it on our Facebook group the day we launch. We'll remind everybody. You can track it just if you go to w5kub.com and click balloon at the top. It'll take you to the tracking page, and you'll be able to track this. We hope to fill these up and get them off by about 10 o'clock in the morning. We got 2 balloons we're going to have to measure. And the way we measure these, we take a gram scale, like a drug dealer uses. And what we'll do, we'll tape a paper clip on the scale. And we'll put a little squirt of hydrogen in there, and we'll hook the balloon on that paper clip, and we'll be able to read the lift. And if we're too low, we'll put another little puff of hydrogen in there, hook it on the scales, and we'll read it. So go to w5kub.com, click on balloon, and you'll be able to track this. I think if we launch at 10, I think by 3 o'clock we should be at our float altitude of 40-something thousand feet. And we might be as far as the Mississippi River, maybe somewhere over Tennessee or Mississippi. So that's kind of what's going on there. All right. Well, Glenn, we're hoping for good weather. We can't launch if it's cloudy, because clouds have water, moisture, and you can see from our thing here, we only have 6 grams of free lift. That's a couple pennies weight, and
Yeah,
you get any water or moisture on that balloon, it's going to come down. And we learned that the hard way. Even though people told us that was going to happen, we were crazy and tried to launch anyway, and we learned that you can't fly through water with this balloon. All right. What's coming up here, Glenn? What do we got going here? We got the Hoxie out of the way. We got Russellville coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep, you've got the Corinth show, Corinth Hamfest on April the 5th. And I'll be doing an Arduino forum there.
That's cool. When is Memphis?
It's the week after,
Oh,
the
the
April the 12th.
Okay, April 12th.
And then there's the Birmingham Fest, February 28th to March 1st. And
Okay.
then I just got invited to the Atlanta Radio Club March meeting to do a Arduino forum for them.
Yeah.
And so we'll be setting up to do that on Thursday,
Are you going down there?
March the 6th. No. They were going to do it via Zoom.
By Zoom. Okay, that's cool.
So,
All right.
yep. And I'm not doing a forum in Russellville. They chose you over me. So
Right.
I'll sit and mind the table.
Okay. And if they call my name for winning a prize, make sure to tell them I'm doing the forum. That I'm there.
No, I'll make sure and tell them that you don't want it and to give it to me.
Well, we'll have to talk about that after the show a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
I can be worked with.
All right.
But,
Anybody in the chat
Brett's
room?
back in the chat room.
I wonder if
Well,
anybody's still in
Brett's
the
back
chat
in
room.
the chat room.
Let's see.
Yeah, Brett is there, but he can't Zoom on the plane.
Yeah. Hot milk glue. R4.
And W8JB Jim is saying he no longer uses Facebook. He'd like you to put the reminder about the balloon on X.
Yeah, and we will. We'll get it out there. Hmm. That reminds me, I was going to look and see how X was doing tonight. I don't know if we have, trying to find a screen here where X was. There it is. See if we've got a few people still on X. If I can figure out what screen to go to. There we go. Yep, we're still live on X. Yeah, we got some viewers on there still. Okay. All right, and let's just make an announcement. If you are on X, guys, we really aren't monitoring the chat room on X. We have our own chat room. It's an IRC-based chat room. If you go to w5kub.com, that page, our video page, actually has the video on one side and our chat room on the other side. Or you can set up an IRC chat room client to work the IRC chat room, but we don't use the YouTube chat room or the X chat room. And I've got mixed feelings about that. I don't know if we should go back to those or not. I mean, oh man, Hambot only works with the IRC chat room that we use.
Yeah, it's kind of like, we could merge them all together possibly, but then Hambot would only work in the yours.
Yeah. All right. Anybody in the chat room? Anybody got anything you want to talk about tonight, real quick? Any questions or anything? We've got about I don't know, 13 minutes left in the show.
Well, I just finishing up that review on this project called Radio Lab for QST.
Yeah, you're a little late on
And,
that. You've been working on that a long time.
Just a little bit, yeah. But I had to work with the designer a little bit to get a few things corrected, but it's good to go now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm putting the review together, probably going to ship it out later this week. So it'll be in QST probably in May or June.
Okay, good.
And then I get to work on the mesh networking book after that. So busy. But I'm hoping to get the shack and an antenna hung on the first warm, sunny day.
Oh,
I've
let
got a
me do
friend
this.
building me
Let me do this.
window.
Hey, I'm going to do this real quick. I told you guys we had put together the two different.
Oh, yeah.
Two different songs, basically. We'll play both of them right now. And guys, tell me if there's anybody still awake there in the chat room. Tell me which one you like better. And we don't have to use either one of them. We can make a different one. I'm not happy with the way they say amateur radio roundtable. They kind of pronounce roundtable wrong. We can fix that by in the text, I think, pronouncing it's two different words, round and table possibly. But we're going to play the two songs, song number one, song number two. Tell us which ones you think that you hear the best, and I think it's the same lyrics. I know it is on both. So here we go.
Spinning the dial on my ham radio, voices crackle through static glow, Morse code tapping in the night, underneath the stars so bright, connecting folks from far and wide, waves in the air they provide.
Yeah, we're not seeing the video, Tom.
No, there's not any video.
Let's get closer, let's go deeper. Amateur radio roundtable so fine. Join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here. Let's make the distance disappear. Twist the knob, find a friend. Airwaves never seem to end. CQ calling loud and clear, sharing stories ear to ear. Antennas point to the sky, signals rise and amplify. Tuning into hearts worldwide, our voices mesh and coincide. Amateur radio roundtable so fine. Join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here. Let's make the distance disappear.
I think the second version's coming up. Yeah, second version's coming up.
Spinning the dial on my ham radio, voices crackle through static glow, Morse code tapping in the night, underneath the stars so bright, connecting folks from far and wide, waves in the
I
air
think
they
these lyrics are
provide.
clearer.
Call signs echo through the ether.
But I like the music on the other one.
Closer, let's go deeper. Amateur radio roundtable so fine. Join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here. Let's make the distance disappear. Twist the knob, find a friend. Airwaves never seem to end. CQ calling loud and clear, sharing stories ear to ear. Antennas point to the sky, make the distance disappear. Join the chat and realize HF to VHF, we're all here. Let's make the distance disappear. Twist the knob, find a friend. Airwaves never seem to end. CQ calling loud and clear. Sharing stories ear to ear. To me. Amateur radio round table, so fun.
All right, guys.
I'm Tom Medlin.
Hang on, let me get back here. Wrong button, wrong button. All right, so we had two of them there. I think everybody is saying they like the first one better, so maybe we can
Yeah, I
use
think
part.
Chuck nailed it. The first one has more energy than the second one.
Yeah,
The lyrics are really good, though. I like the lyrics.
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody say they like the second one better.
Okay, well, we've reached our time limit for tonight. I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight, and we will see you next week.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Night.